You wouldn't find a much more typical Western District name than Lenehan. And, according to Kevin Lenehan, you wouldn't find a more typical Western District family than his. Kevin and his 6 siblings grew up on a small farm in Killarney. His parents, Jack and May, grew onions and milked cows, and the children went to primary school at St. Bridget's in Crossley. The family had a love of greyhound racing, and through the enthusiasm of their mum, the Collingwood Football Club. Kevin loved farm life and being so close to the beach, but life wasn't easy for a large family with a small farm. So, in 1973, the farm was sold and the family moved north to the Murray River. After 4 years, Kevin's dad became sick and the family moved to Port Fairy. Jack passed away in 1978. In the same year, Kevin began Year 8 at CBC. He enjoyed study and in his final year was appointed college captain. By then, Kevin's mum was supporting the family on a widow's pension, and continuing their education was only possible because the family was supported by the brothers. Kevin had heard through Principal, Brother Tom Carney, that the Ballarat Diocese was looking to employ school leavers in a youth ministry support group. In those days, every parish had an active group. Kevin and the other youth leaders were given an old car that they used to drive all around the diocese, from Mildura to Portland. In 1985, Kevin became one of 17 young people from around Victoria entering the Corpus Christi Seminary in Melbourne, beginning 9 years of study. After an internship year in Ballarat, Kevin returned to the seminary in Clayton for 2 more years of further study and was ordained in Port Fairy in 1993. Kevin's first appointments as priest were in rural areas and places like Ararat and Hopeton, where the number of clergy were reducing and amalgamations of parishes were starting to happen. An opportunity arose for Kevin to complete further studies overseas at the Catholic University of Leuven in Belgium. There, Kevin completed 2 master's degrees in religious education and theology. On his return, Kevin worked full-time in the diocese as parish priest in Ballarat, then taking up an executive position within the Catholic Education Office. Kevin led a team that was working with religious education around the schools and colleges of the diocese. Kevin oversaw student curriculum and teacher accreditation and was involved in the selection and appraisals of principals. During that time, Kevin led a major renewal of the sacramental and reconciliation programs for children, but his most significant task came because of changes to the religious education curriculum guidelines. Kevin led a multi-diocese team in developing a new religious education curriculum named Awakenings. Still in use today, Awakenings represented a significant change in the way that religious education was taught. It was driven by demographics about religious faith, practice, and identification. It recognised that not every child comes from a religious background, not every student has religious faith, and not every student understands religious faith. Awakenings acknowledged that not every student will be on board, and it endeavoured to take them on a journey of understanding. Kevin's philosophy was that religious education should be underpinned by an educational experience as strong as maths or literacy, or any other subject area. The aim was to enhance the Catholic school identity of a school while acknowledging the cultural mix of a school. To take Catholic schools from being tribal schools run by Catholics for Catholics to schools that allow everybody to enhance their life vision. For Kevin, these were great days, undertaking groundbreaking work with teachers who were very engaged and energised by the discussion and by the changes. After 5 years as the Director of Religious Education, Kevin returned to Belgium and completed a PhD in theology. During university breaks, Kevin continued to participate in parish life as much as possible. Kevin returned to Australia and became the Master of the Catholic Theological College in Melbourne. Kevin was also a member of the first plenary council of the church and the drafting of the documents in the lead up to the council. This was the most significant national gathering of the Catholic Church in Australia in more than 80 years, an occasion for decisions on the future direction of the church and to make significant reforms. Kevin believes that the church should not be afraid of talking about issues that its grassroots members wish to talk about. Kevin is also a member of the Ballarat College of Consultants, a consulting body to Bishop Paul Bird, along with serving on the Associated Personnel Board. Father Kevin Lenehan's academic achievements have been extraordinary. He has contributed enormously to Catholic education, but he has also remained connected to the grassroots level of the church. Community, says Kevin, is where faith can make a difference.
Thank you very much. A couple of weeks ago I went to see the movie Oppenheimer, Christopher Nolan's latest epic extravaganza about Robert J. Oppenheimer, the lead physicist researcher in the project to develop the atomic bomb. You might have seen it. Have you already seen it? Perhaps it's a masterpiece, I think, probably of modern cinema, but a story of tension between the drive for technological research development and the deepening of a human being. And perhaps it's a story of both triumph and tragedy. Oppenheimer's triumph, in a sense, was also his tragedy, that as he committed himself endlessly to his research, something of his own humanity gets halted, perhaps, until his achievements start to fall apart, or at least were undone by rivalry or jealousy. Unknown, of course, in academic world in Australia that anybody should be jealous of another academic. But as his career is slowly and reputation gets torn apart, his own humanness starts to come through again, and his deeper ethical and moral self starts to emerge. I suppose that's a challenge for all of us in a way. I'm grateful, as I reflect on my education in this college, that it valued both what we can do and what we can achieve, but also who we are and who we become as people. I'm grateful to the staff, to the brothers and to the nuns in the two schools, to the lay staff, and to the many people affiliated around the school who modelled that to us, that life is about excellence in achievement. And I say without a hesitation that this school gave me, anyway, as good an education as could be had in Australia at the time, and certainly with many fewer resources than some of the big schools. I was given every academic ability to move on into any other international and national educational setting, but also paying attention to who I was becoming, and the person and the attributes, if you like, that make up the human being. And indeed, as a priest of the diocese, the great privilege of being a priest is that every day somebody invites us into their humanness, whether it's an experience of joy and celebration or an experience of heartbreak or loss. Every day somebody invites me, not because I'm good or nice or particularly talented at anything, but simply because I'm a priest. Somebody invites me into their humanness. It's happened today 2 different ways. And that's a great privilege of our life. I look forward to the day the church allows more of you to know the privilege of being ordained and being a priest, and sharing in that wonderful opportunity of entering into the humanness of other people, because that's God's plan for us. Nothing delights God more than you being fully you, fully alive, at the full stretch of your talents and capacities, the full stretch of your heart. Nothing gives our Creator more joy than to see the creation flourish. And so that to the extent that our achievements, our technological advance, our capacity to use the good things of this world to make life better, to the extent that that supports and develops our shared humanness and our common life in this planet, then the Creator is rejoicing, and we all benefit from that. So I appreciate what this school has done for me. I appreciate my family, who valued the opportunities for us 7 kids to experience the schools, and in our being younger in the family, after our father's relatively early death, the support that the school gave to my widowed mum, for myself and my younger brother to complete through here at CBC Warrnambool is much appreciated. I too am grateful for the support of my family, my siblings, our wider family connection here, and those who've supported me through my life in its various forms. I greet my confrere priests who are here. There are a few at least. Father Laurie's here, Father Paddy Muggerman I saw come in, and Father Bill. I greet you, and for the support and shared journey that we make together. Like many of you, I'm of the generation perhaps of first to complete year 12, what it was at that stage, first to complete university, first in many ways to have opportunities that our parents didn't have or had differently. And so it's certainly good in this opportunity for me to take breath and to be grateful for what has been possible for me because of my family, because of the school, because I must say of the country and the educational system in Australia that moved through and allowed me and my younger brother to go to university and to be, in a sense, in that first cohort through and to bring into the wider society what we can. So thank you to the school, thank you to Principal Morgan, thank you to Candice and your team for the beautiful, warm and professional and careful way that you've worked with me, and I'm sure with the other awardees tonight, and for the top class professional presentation of this evening. I thank you all and congratulations to the other alumni.